Okay, today in Social 101, we are going to be discussing increasing your social influence with Rebecca Morris. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
And Mihang Ju. Hi, Mihang.
Hi.
And they are going to be talking to us about how they use social media to increase their friends, their base, and finding more people to talk to about new skin. So, first question I have for you guys is: with social media, do you recommend being private or public in the different channels?
I prefer being public, and I know some people have that tendency that they want to keep some things private, more their family and maybe sometimes with their kids. But for me, public is being able to show anyone and everyone they can come across you at random. It allows people to follow you, for instance, on Facebook versus being a friend. And I've actually had that since I changed my privacy pretty recently to being a public account now. So my tendency is towards public, and there's different settings that you can hide specific posts to just specific groups of friends anyway.
That's perfect. Mihang, what do you think? How do you have yours in social media?
It's in public.
Public
I
versus
agree with, yeah, I agree with Rebecca, 100%.
Yeah, it seems like if you're growing your base and if you're trying to find new friends, that if you're not public, hashtag searching and just
Mhm.
coming upon friends, it's not gonna work if you're private. But I do think it's important for people who are worried, like you mentioned, Rebecca, to have school with one of your kids and it shows the school's name or something that maybe you feel a little uncomfortable. Just hide that particular one from being public because you can just say friends only, right?
Right.
As you're posting something. Okay, so now let's talk about how fast you should increase your friends in social media and grow your base. If you feel like it's better for you to add just a couple of friends at a time, or if you kind of go out and add hundreds at a time. Mihan, how do you add your friends when you're increasing?
For me, I like to know the person instead of just adding the everybody in my group. I have some funny experience. I try to be careful. I'm a little bit careful. You know, accepting everybody. But I would like to. I'm not trying to go slow and slow. I try to get to know that person and then increase a relationship, even though it's on the social media. Maybe that's just my personal character, I
No,
guess.
I think that's great. Rebecca, what do how do you do it? Different or?
I'd say I'm a little bit of both. In some instances, I do add quite a bit in a short amount of time. And some of that is just expanding outreach in a way and just kind of like casting that net out there and seeing what will come back later. Some of them I do actually reach out to and start personally connecting with, not all of them. And it just kind of it's a case by case situation. Maybe they're located in an area where I have team growing or I know people are going to. So maybe that's a reason I actually reach out to that person. Maybe it's their background that's relatable for whatever reason, or I see a post of theirs that they recently did that I like, and so I make a comment about that or something. So you kind of have to take it case by case, and I don't think either way is wrong. It's whatever someone is preferencing.
So do you guys feel like having more friends is always a good thing in all the different channels, or are there certain channels where you limit the number of people that you have?
Um, for me, I like having a bigger base. Maybe it's just because I'm the personality that I look at how many friends somebody has now. I kind of take notice of that now. I didn't for a long time, but I think seeing a big base and that they're widely connected seems pretty cool. So my mindset is I want a bigger base for people to be able to see that I have that big base there. So I'm someone that's well connected right from the get go. So that's my preference, and that's how I prefer my Facebook and Instagram is have a lot of that.
Awesome. Mihan?
Yeah, I was very I used to be a very private person, but since I've been doing New Skin, I'm very open. So I would like to have more people. Yeah.
Awesome. I think that's great. And do you guys ever clean out your friend list? Let's say someone tells you straight up, you know what? You do new skin. I'm not interested in that, but they stay on your friend list. Would you ever clean them out?
No, because they're watching. Even when I'm using on my Korean app, and most my friend they don't make any comment. But then, other than New Skin, when I put my lifestyle, and they start making comment, and then I noticed that they're watching. They're watching me. So I found that, and then okay, then I would like to have them still.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I agree completely. That's how I've used my social media. The majority is actually when someone tells me no and I'm not Facebook friends with them, I will go add them as a Facebook friend. So then they will then be watching now. So it's almost like a follow-up process from afar.
Oh, I really like that.
So I always make it a point that once I've finished talking to somebody, whether it's a yes or a no, they are added to my social media connections.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So they can kind of see what it really means instead of just their first impression of it.
Right.
And watch. I love that. And in order for that to work, that means that you have to be regularly posting on social media for people to see, right? I mean, it's important for you to openly show,
Right.
You know, who you are in social media and how it's part of your life.
Right.
For that to work. Are there different ways that you add friends in different channels that you're on? I know, Mihan, that you do Cacao and Facebook, and Rebecca, you do Facebook and Instagram. Are there different ways that you guys add friends in these different channels successfully?
For me, they're about the same way.
So you just go to so how do you do it? Do you look for suggested friends? Do you go into groups? Like what are the ways that you traditionally find new people to add into your base?
I find friends and friends and friends. Instead of, for me, I don't know, in Korean, I can speak a little bit, more freely, but I try to reach friends and friends. So instead of looking for strangers.
Yeah. So like you might also know, or friends in common things.
Right. Yes.
Awesome. Rebecca, other ways that you might or that you do?
Yeah, on Facebook, I look at the suggested friends and I see who the mutual connections are. And so I'll go there. I do a lot of the, like Mihan does, the friends of friends, but also on friends posts, I will look at who has commented on their posts and kind of look into those folks and who they may be, and maybe I'll just add them real fast. And Instagram, I search by places that they live and their hashtags. So that's usually how I come across new people. And then anytime I do a post on Instagram and I get a like or something like that, or a comment from somebody on my post, I go look at who that person is right away. And 9 times out of 10, I'm following that person right then. And so then they'll follow back. And so it creates that connection right away.
Awesome. Other thoughts you guys have on adding, whether it's to the increasing your social influence or just little tip, and trick that you want to kind of leave people with on social media?
I have one, and this is kind of funny. It happened last night. And so this was actually on LinkedIn. I had sent a request to someone. She looked young. She looked, she just kind of had that look. So I sent her a message, or actually I didn't send a message. I sent a connection request. And I got a message back from her, and it was like if I scrolled on the face of my phone, I had to scroll it 5 times. This message was so long. And she's with another direct marketing company. And that was what the whole message was about her company in that one message. And so that was a great example of what not to send. So the biggest tip is when you reach out and you connect with somebody, go from a space of wanting to build a relationship like Mihan was talking about. And so it's not wanting to specifically talk about the product or about Nu Skin right from the start. It's get to know them. What do they do? Where do they live? What do they like to do? Do they have kids? Are they married? Kind of like get to know them and ask those basic questions. And in those questions and the answers, you will probably find an opening to then bring in the business or a product at that point.
I love that. So I have one last question, and that's how do you deal with, or do you add distributors, cross-line, downline, upline into your friends group? And how do you think that builds the dynamic of your social media groups?
What recently some people, request me to be a friend, and then I, of course they're doing Nu Skin, so I accept it. But for me, I'm not looking for, I don't know how to say, what I'm talking about, Rebecca, right?
Yeah, you don't go out and look for Nu Skin distributors to add necessarily.
Right. But when they send me a request, I accept that.
Right. I'm that way too, because I think it's a form of edification that when I do post something, usually the other Nu Skin distributors will be counted on to like or to comment and create a buzz and kind of get it started.
Yeah.
Even though they're not my target. They can still help, and I'll help them in a way. That's not really a spoken thing. That's kind of a nonverbal thing we kind of all know we're doing. But it is to a certain discretion and to know to be respectful in other people's posts. Right. Because I know for me, I don't prefer referencing the name of the company or a product. And so if I were to get a comment on one of my pictures that included any of that, I would probably remove it. So it's having that discretion, but I think it's a form that it can be teamwork between all of us of helping create the buzz and keep our posts at the top of the feeds because there's so much buzz around it.
So maybe kind of a good lesson learned is, it's good to be supportive, but when you're supportive, you can, just be like, oh, I love this, or be really generic almost when you're posting on someone's, since you don't know how other distributors do or don't. But it is important that there's likes and comments, because the more likes and comments,
right,
the more that other people are intrigued by it as well. But I like the advice of, you don't need to throw out your own personal story necessarily or talk about the products or the company. You can easily be supportive and collaborate as distributors without distracting or changing the message that maybe the original poster was trying to send.
Right.
So I do think teamwork is really important, and I do like that it'll kind of give it a little buzz right at the beginning. Mm-hmm. If you like and comment on someone's post.
And like one other thing on that is when someone's had a success in the business, whether that's a promotion to a new title or they had a successful event or they came from a success trip or had a great training call or whatever it may be, that if someone, because they're friends and we're all Nu Skin distributors, if someone posted about that on their wall on Facebook, for example, and referenced it, then that's another form of edification that they're going about and saying, what a great job. And those friends of theirs will notice that and go, oh, what were you doing? Or that's exciting for you. I'm glad you're having such success, or because it's someone else pointing it out.
Yeah, I love that. So do you have recommendations on how you set up your profile to attract new people, or as you're adding friends so that we all know that people research about us and social stalk us a little bit before talking to us. So, are there different ways that you present yourself in your profile information to help attract other people to you?
I know I start at the profile picture because that is what someone's first bam, that's what they're first seeing about you. So make sure that's doesn't have to be a very formal picture, but it's professional enough that it's you smiling or whatever. It's not a picture of your dog or even as much, maybe not so much your kids because they don't know who you are at that moment. So you're wanting to present you. So have some kind of a picture in that form. You're not looking for something that's too scandalous there. But then your cover picture is the next big thing. So I tend to like quotes or a picture from the beach or the mountains or something. So it's kind of, that's almost like my lifestyle thing right there for people to see, boom, boom, with my profile picture. And then if your profile's public, then they can start to scroll down and see what your most recent posts were. And so you want to make sure that your posts are uplifting. They're going to be attractive to somebody new to take a look and say, yeah, I want to add this person because they're going to add something unique and nice to my feed, and I want to follow them.
What about your job? Do you put, I'm a New Skin independent distributor? Do you put, I work for New Skin, which is not allowed, by the way. Don't put, I work for New Skin. Do you put entrepreneur, network marketer, self-employed? Like, how do you guys, or I don't know, what do you put there? Nothing?
For me, I put self-employed.
Okay.
And that I work for myself, basically, which actually sometimes is good because other self-employed people can find you that way. Yeah. And so it's kind of generic, but that leaves it open for interpretation and curiosity in that standpoint. And I think as someone who in the younger age group, when you say you're self-employed, you get eyebrows raised at you right away to like, oh, what are they doing if they're in their 20s or 30s and they're self-employed? So that's what I do. There's never a reference to the company or product on my profile. Someone will never see that on there.
Okay.
Actually, I put, I'm working with New Skin Enterprises, but maybe I should change.
It needs to say, I think, independent distributor if the company name is mentioned. But I think entrepreneur and even network marketer. I've seen a lot of distributors that have network marketer as their, because they don't say New Skin network marketer, but they just say, hey, I'm doing, network marketing. And sometimes I know that has had a bad taste in some people's mouths. And so people choose not to. And I think that it's, for other people, it's not a bad thing. It's attractive to, again, like you said, be self-employed and to show people what you're doing. So
I'll be honest, I was one of those people that shied away from acknowledging on social media that I was a part of network marketing or whatever you want to call it, direct sales. People have different names for it. And so I'm sure I'm not the only one on that. I shied away from it for a long time, but I kind of started to embrace it a little bit more because it is who I am. And so hopefully that can help some people. It's not a bad thing because you're right, Kathy. There are many people that when they see that, they're like, oh, which one is she with? Because I can't see it anywhere on her profile. So all of a sudden it's like, oh, something different. Maybe there is a way to do it differently without blowing up people's feed with products.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, again, it's whatever's natural for you, that and how you present yourself
right
in real life, right?
And who your audience is also affects that.
Yeah.
So knowing who you are and who your audience is the two big things.
Yeah. And I think that the people that you're talking to and the audience you're talking to, there's different ways that are attractive and a turn off to different people. So I think that that's important. Okay, I totally appreciate you guys taking the time to do this with us and to give us your advice on this. Thank you. Thanks so much, you guys. We love you being part of our social influencers and being a part of this team that's going to help train everyone on how to be social media savvy. So thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day, you guys.
Too. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.